Hey everybody, what's going on? It is June 2nd, 2019. This is episode number 3 of the Mo Banter Podcast. I am Mo. Hey, what's going on, yo? Welcome again to the Mo Banter Podcast, episode number 3. So, funny thing is, when I first started this a month ago, and really I just started it just because I thought this would be a fun hobby to actually do. The whole idea was I was going to use free SoundCloud, and I would be allotted a certain amount of time each month or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm not going to talk that much. Well, 2 episodes in, and the amount of time they allow you on a free account on SoundCloud is 3 hours. Episode 2 was like a little under 2 hours, which was about 40 minutes longer than I wanted to go. But, whatever. It is what it is. I paid for it. And now, since I have to pay for it, if somehow this is the 3rd episode you're listening to already, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot just to get like even just a single listen that is in mine. Be like, okay, cool, maybe hopefully I connected with that person and we're not that different. And when I see like the analytics of who clicked on it, and sometimes it's not even in Cali, I go, okay, cool, maybe they can understand us a little bit better, and in the future like through understanding, just through listening to somebody from far away, you get that sense of who they are, what city that they are, their culture, and just the overall feel. It's not always a good thing, like a good way to gauge that, but if what you are first exposed to from a different part of this country is vastly different than your own opinion, then it makes you question yourself, and that's kind of another reason why I wanted to start this. Is just let us think about things first. And talking about thinking, and it came into mind just because, I really don't know, but I do know. So I am I am the father of a soon to be high school student. My son just turned 14 in April. School out here gets a little bit earlier than usual, so he promoted right at the start of episode 2. Actually, I mentioned that I was going to his promotion. So in August 7th, yeah, he will be a high school student officially. Man, man, sometimes it's rough. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my son. I love him to death. He is my soul. He is my everything. He is the inspiration for which I want to do better. He is the inspiration why I can look at myself and say that I'm a way better person now than I was before he entered my life. And I'm a way better person now than I was even a year or so ago, just because as he grows up and I'm trying to teach him how to be cool with everybody, or at least most people who are willing to give you that chance to be cool with them. I found myself saying things to him that my dad said to me, and then I look at my dad and some of the stuff he's told me about himself and the fuck up that he was, and you don't really start to think or start reflecting back on the lessons your parents were trying to teach you until you are trying to instill those same lessons into your kids. And the lesson could be good or bad, and I guess we can get into more granularity about that as well. But let's keep on with this thinking thing first. So like he pops off, right? He pops off all the fucking time. He pops off, and when he does these things, inside it's like a little trigger in me. You know what I mean? And I think that trigger comes because, as with my parents, anyways, with me, more particularly my mom, like whenever I would show the slightest bit of disrespect, it was like an auto correction, but not like an auto correction in like a smooth way, a more auto correction like the way we used to think was the best way to house train a dog. Like fucking rolled up newspapers and Windex in the eyes and shit. Like my mom never used chemicals on me, so I don't want to put that out there. My mom did spank me. I'm not gonna fucking front. She spanked me, and she got me good a couple times. Belts and her hand were the only thing she ever used on me. You know what I mean? Uh, Thankfully, you know what I'm saying? She never once, even when I remember a few times at the Kenny shoe store and the JC Penney's and the Broadway, but before they all became Macy's, like, I thought I was so clever sometimes, as stupid little kids think they are. And I would pop off to my mom, and the exact contents of the words that I said, I can't remember, but I can remember, like, the image, right, of me being all proud of myself. That I just popped off to my mom, and I was like, "Ooh, eat it, what's up?" My mom will look at me like with fire in her eye. And I knew what that meant every time it happened, and yet I didn't learn for a while that maybe I shouldn't be talking to my mom this way. You know what I mean? And the fire in her eye, she was going to hit me. And that was always like the sign, you know what I'm saying? Like the fire. Never once did she ever slap me in the face. Like, I was in her face. I was tall enough, right? And she never once in her life did she ever slap me in the face. Ever. And people can say, "Oh, well, it's just a..." No. There's something about... There's a certain feeling I have about my face. Not because I'm cute or handsome or anything of the sort. It's just something about, like, your face is like literally the first thing people see about you. And maybe my dad is the same way. My dad never told me his kind of philosophical reason for this. But my dad was another dude, you know, like, and we'll get back to my mom. I would grow up, I would punch him. I would punch my dad in the arm. You know, he would let me take cracks at his arms because he was young and fit. You know, and he was fit. My dad's still fit for like a 60-year-old dude, man. He has a better body than I do. But anyways, you know, I'll go and pop him off. You know, thinking I'm all, you know, fucking Rocky Balboa and shit. And, you know, like, as I get stronger, I feel more confident. He's letting me do these things. And I remember mom telling me, like, "Hey, you know, don't do that because he's going to start disrespecting you." My dad was like, no, he's not going to disrespect me. He knows we're just playing. He knows what, you know, blah, blah. And I do remember these, like, little interactions. I was super young at the time. And there was one incident, I can't remember. Oh, because I used to watch pro wrestling a lot. I used to watch pro wrestling a lot. And, like, you know, like, when you threw down in pro wrestling, if anybody remembers, like, the 80s and 90s, and maybe even now, when you wanted to throw down with somebody, you slapped them in the face, right? And, like, Hogan did it, Macho Man did it, Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels, you know, Bruiser Bar Beefcake, they all did that. And, you know, like, and what is that thing? You know, you slap somebody in the face and you just like, "What's up?" Then you, like, look at them, you know, just fake, you know, like, you know, that's all scripted. But as a kid growing up, you don't really think about that all the time. So one time I slapped my pops right in the face. It wasn't even hard, but I was just, you know, like, at that moment I was just playing with him. And I slapped him in the face, and, like, I've never seen this look in my dad's eyes. Like, this dude, like, he changed faces. And I felt like I was about to be fucking killed. And I didn't get hit. I didn't get spanked. Nothing. He huffed at me super, super loud. And then he, like, kind of, like, sharply, like, indoor yelling, because my dad wasn't one to, like, draw attention to himself, like, doing these things. So he went, "Don't do that again!" With that accent and everything. "Don't do that again!" And I got kind of scared. My mom pops out from the dressing room because we were at a Broadway, I believe, or we were in a department store. And she was like, "¿Qué pasó? What happened?" And my dad couldn't even talk. And then, you know, my mom goes, "What happened? What'd you do?" Like, "I was just playing with him. "What do you mean you were just playing? Why? What did you do?" "I was just playing with him." "How are you playing with him?" I'm like, "Well, I was playing wrestling with him and I slapped him in the face." "Mojito." And that was my mom's nickname for him, Mojito. "Mojito, que no, eso no se hace, Mojito." You know, like, you don't do that. You don't do that, Mojito. That's what she was telling me. I'm sorry, you know. And I go, "I was just playing, Mom." "No, que no." All right. sorry, like, I'm sorry. I go, Dad, I'm sorry. And he like kind of like shrugs me off. He was really, really angry. He shrugs me off. And then my mom goes up to him like, hey, I told you. You had to think about it. You let him hit you. He's getting stronger. He's going to get, I know. He was angry. I told you. I know. Okay, I know. He was super mad. Like, I didn't think he would be this mad, but he was pissed. And then, like, 10 minutes passed by, and, everybody's cool. My mom buys what she needs to buy. I think she bought jeans and face cream or something. And my dad is like, come here. I'm like, fuck. He's going to hit me. Look, Mo. Look. I know that we play, but, Mo. Don't slap me in the face ever again. Okay? Yeah, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't. I was doing pro wrestling. I'm sorry. Okay. Pro wrestling is bullshit. Okay? Because if another motherfucker hit my face like that, I fuck him up. This was like one of the very, very few times at that age, because I believe I was like younger than 10 years old when this all took place. Like, I was either like 7 or 8 when all this went down. And I think this was like the first time in like that 8 years. Like, I heard my dad, like, cuss before and everything else, but he never laid down a line full of obscenities at me like that, like, ever. You know what I'm saying? He didn't think that it looked proper, that it looked good for a father to be talking in front of his son that way. So he tried to not do that ever again, or try to limit the amount that he exposed me to in that certain fashion. Me, I'm not quite that that understanding of a situation like that. I tend to curse a lot, and I tend to curse a lot in front of my son too, but my son does not curse. And we can talk about that another day, but, just so we're kind of clear on that part. But this was the first time, and I go, I know, Dad, I'm sorry. Okay. Because I don't like to be hit in the face. Okay? That right there, that's serious. I go, okay, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. And I think he still wants to say more, but, like, what else can he really say that's not going to be repeating the same shit? And me apologizing, because that was going to be the cycle. Whatever because I felt so bad. Whatever he said, I was going to say, yeah, Dad, I'm sorry. Like, this dude could have said, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I need you to, like, wipe my ass when I'm done. Okay, Dad, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I would probably fight a little bit more than that, but that was going to be the end. That was going to be the end result. Was that I was going to agree and apologize for whatever it is that I felt, that I felt bad about. That's what kids do. So that was his thing. But, like, the whole line of this whole thinking part will come for circle to that is, my dad explained to me at that point that if any other person had hit his face, he would have fucked dude up. And I believe him. He told me some crazy ass stories about what he did as a youth, and you know what? And he told me some of the crazy stuff that he did, and I tend to believe him. I mean, he told me I lost fights and I won fights, so I'll believe him that, maybe not fuck a dude up, or get fucked up, but the fight is happening, right? So that's somebody's first instinct. That's somebody's persona's first reaction. That's your character that comes out when you first react. Your character, the person that you are, the type of person that you tend to be. It tends to be that person that first reacts to every situation. Doesn't matter what the situation is. That is what your character is at the moment that some real stuff happens. Your first reactions. But my dad had to think about that, because at that moment when he first wanted to react, there must have been, when he looked at me, because I said, I felt like death was coming, and it probably was, it probably was. And And like, he had to think about it. He slowed down enough in that moment as a father of an 8-year-old kid. He slowed down his first reactions enough to not cave in my chest or bust my forehead or whatever. I don't know what dude's first reactions are. You know, like, I do now, but at that moment I did not. So it would be one of those weird, crazy scenarios. And I didn't really pay attention to that scenario until like now that I'm a little bit older, and I find myself doing that. I find myself stopping to just slow down and think before I say anything. Because sometimes you just don't know. If you say something wrong, there's no taking that shit back. Even if you say you angry, even if you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I said that in anger." Who the fuck cares why you said what you said? You felt that inside your body. You've been wanting to say that for the longest fucking time. But you didn't think about what those words were going to mean to the person you're going to say them to. Like, obviously, if you don't care about the person, then who the fuck cares? Pop off. Pop the fuck off. I'm not trying to give you permission here, but as grown-ass fucking people, I'm sorry. If somebody you care nothing about in any sort of capacity whatsoever, you know, not as a boss, not as a whatever, and these dudes are popping off and you think you don't give a fuck about what the perception will be with this person in the future life, pop off. Pop the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? That is your character. That is who you are. Again, I'm not condoning violence, but, you know, sometimes you gotta let yourself express yourself. That's how I feel. And I do got a story about that as well. And maybe I'll cover in this episode. I'm not sure yet. But had my dad not slowed down enough to think, like, some serious shit could have happened. He could have slapped me in my face, leading to, even at that time, a father slapping his kid like that was considered child abuse. Even in that time. And what I mean by that time is, like, back then, a mom could spank their kids anywhere, pretty much. Anywhere. Spank. Not beat, spank. Nobody said shit about it. Nobody called the cops. Nobody called child services. Nobody tried to get tags. Nobody tried to get this. Like, that was a thing of, like, hey, that kid was popping off. He deserved to get his ass beat. I say beat, but it was a spanking. There is a difference. Right. So, like, even at those times, like, a father slapping his son was considered abuse. Like that, you know, like in the face. That was considered abuse. Straight out. There was no ifs about it. That was considered abuse. Sorry, man. I'm having problems with this damn filter. So that was considered abuse. He was able to just kind of look at my face and be like, "No, this is my son." Like, I'm pretty sure it was, you know, it was like SSD speeds before SSDs were even a thing in computers. These were like SSD M2 speeds. You know, he was processing all this information, you know, uploading, downloading, you know, like he's loading it into everything. And then he thought about it, walked back, was still angry, obviously, because that is his character. His character is to get angry. And I think all of us in that Z lineage have that. It's in our character. He walked away, thought about everything, and then in the time that he was away, he was thinking about ways to tell me this message. And it was obscenity laden. But it was the best option that he had at the time because he thought about it. And I concur. I agree. Right? So that was my dad. And with my mom, and what I mean with my mom is, so my mom never slapped me in the face, and she'd spank me. But even in her quick reactions, because again, that's who the character is. That's who my mom was. She's not like that anymore. My mom's a lot more chill and calm and everything. You know what I'm saying, that she was when she was younger. And so was my dad. But they went two separate paths, and we'll probably cover that in a different episode as well. Even though my mom was first to react really, really quick and swiftly, you know what I'm saying, with the spanking, she always was slow enough to not hit my face. And I guess just those two things together are kind of why I feel about the face the way that I feel. So like, had my mom not been able to just think just one little moment, this is my son, this is my kid, as she's going to spank me, and in that nanosecond that she decides I'm gonna whoop his ass, I'm gonna whoop the ass of my son who I love dearly. You know what I'm saying? Just really quick, really fast. She could have just popped me in the face, just bah, quick. But no, she always reached for my hand, pulled me up, turned me around, and just laid into my ass. You know, just lay into there. I exaggerated. She probably popped me like 3 times, you know, max. But she thought about it. Again, had she not thought about it, she'd be slapping me in the face. And that to me is like the ultimate insult. But even my mom had enough thought, had enough thinking to think about me in that way and not slap my face. And then also knowing, I'm going to assume that she knew how my dad felt about the face because of the way she reacted to me. So I could just imagine how my dad would have reacted towards my mom had my mom done that to me. So that's why I say to people, think before you act. Think about it. Just really quick. Start off with taking long pauses before you react. Again, situation can vary. But if your first thing is always to react, then you really haven't thought about it. You're thinking about how you're going to react instead of thinking about what the reaction is going to cause or going to be. And then having shared that story, the reason why I say this now too is because with my kid, pops off, mounts up before he fucking thinks about anything. And you now having shared some background about, it's like an Iron Man movie now. I'm sharing too much background. Iron Man 2 in particular. Now that he's popping off, you know, I was raised with this mentality of reaction, you know, like pop him. My kid's 14, he's 5'5", he's like 145 right now, 150. He's no threat to me. I'm 6'2", 220 right now. At my biggest, I've been 300 plus. He's never been a threat to me, you know, and even when he hits, you know, when he hits his growth spurt, we'll see, you know, we'll see. But anyways, it's not even that he's not a threat. It's just, if I were to always pop off at him that way, what kind of me telling him, hey, don't react this way, and then me reacting the complete opposite way sets that tone of ignorant parenting, of not do as I do, but do as I say. And how do we expect kids to really follow that for anybody, really? Like, we're trying to raise our kids to be independent, to be strong, to be the best that they can be, and we're gonna tell them how to do it, right? But we're not gonna show them how to do it. There's a difference there. There's an absolute difference there, and we have to think about that before we act with our kids. We have to think about what we do before we do that with our kids. Think about everything first. Even if you don't have kids, if you go, oh, this guy's talking about kids. Even if you don't have kids, Stop to think before you react. Stop to think before you put something out there that's going to be out there most likely forever. And we'll evolve to that part of the conversation. But right now I'm gonna talk about my family. Because my show, god damn it, I'm gonna talk about my family. You know what I'm saying? So if we don't think about our actions before we react with our children, how are we going to tell them to do the same? So in the last like 4 years, 5 years or so, I've done a lot of reflecting upon myself that I, not all the time, but, and I'm not even gonna say like a majority of the time, but there was a large chunk of portion of time when I was telling my kid to watch his attitude, to stop reacting the way that he was reacting, but I was not doing the same. I was reacting first. I wasn't thinking. I didn't care about the feelings of those I was reacting to, whether it was wifey, whether it was him, whether it was anybody. Or what was worse in my mind after I went through all this thinking was, hold up, I'm not like this at work with my bosses. When they say something to me that I don't think is right or is upsetting me, I think about that. I think about how I'm going to react and how I'm going to respond first, right? I'm going to think about it because I don't want to get fired because I do have a kid and I do have a wife at home. I can't get fired, so I can't react that way. You know, and I wasn't doing it with a lot of my bosses, especially once I got into the video game industry. Like there was like the first boss I had, I popped off a lot and I learned a lot from those interactions because he was so chill about everything. So I learned a lot from those interactions. You know what I'm saying? But like starting when I got into it, like I didn't pop off to most of my bosses. Like even when I hated them, I would talk shit behind their backs. I'll talk shit to other coworkers that felt the same way. Yeah, I do that. But as far as like if we ever interacted, it was never like, oh, I've rarely interacted, and it's happened. It has happened, but very, very rarely has it ever been an interaction that I've had with most of my bosses, even if I did not like them. Right? That was just not an interaction. So once I started thinking about it, then go, okay, so why is it that I can slow down my thinking? I can slow down everything that I'm doing for these people that literally, in the grand scheme of my life, don't mean shit. They don't mean anything. They're just people that are telling me what to do right now because I have a paycheck to collect. Because I have to work for a paycheck. You know what I mean? But they're not even signing my paychecks. All they're doing is giving me the work so it looks like I can earn a paycheck. Like, when you think about, like, everything, how far disconnected this motherfucker is from your money, but he's the one that's kind of still in control of it, you know, you start thinking, like, who the fuck is he really? He ain't shit to me. He's literally a bouncer at the fucking club. That's all these people tended to be. All the ones that I hated anyways tended to be. They tend to be the bouncers at the fucking club. Oh, homie, you gonna let me in? Come on, man, let me in. I'll give you 20. I'll give you 40. Let me in, cuz. Ah, man, you gonna be a bitch? You gonna let me in? Like, man, that's essentially the conversation you have. Going from where you are on the outside to where you want to be on the inside, right? As you progress in your career, you're constantly on the outside. You want to go into the inside of a more expensive club. That's life in a nutshell, a professional nutshell, anyways. You outside the club, you're trying to get into the club. Doesn't matter what club it is, you're trying to get into it because you want to be part of it, right? You know. So, anyways. So in the grand scheme of these bouncers, I was showing these dudes, you know, in comparative, mad respect compared to my family. You know, especially the two most important people in my life. My son and my wife. So little by little, I started thinking before I said anything. And it's not always the best way because what that tends to do is you tend to hold in a lot of emotion, a lot of resentment, and you don't know how you're going to react when you do react. When you've had to think about this for 3 months, but it hasn't been just one incident, and you're thinking about that one incident for 3 months, you're thinking about multiple incidents over 3 months. So when you do react to the first incident from 3 months before. That incident has baggage. Has a ton of baggage. And the floodgates open, and things were cool for 3 months when you were thinking about not doing shit, not thinking about not saying anything. And then shit opens, and then it gets bad. Really bad. And then the cycle starts over again. But in comparative to what it had been before, believe it or not, that was kind of an improvement. Me and my wife have never been one to really fight. I think in the grand schemes of us being together 15 years in total, we've had 4 or 5 like huge fights, and not really like fights like punches, but like huge arguments, shit that lasted way longer. We've had 4 or 5, the ones that lasted multi hours, even like multi days, multi sessions. We've had about 4 or 5 of those in 15 years. But early on in our relationship, there was drama, shit involved, and we quibbled a lot. And the thing is, like, we wouldn't quibble a lot. She would say something that would upset me, and I'm pretty sure it's unimportant because I can't even remember any of what she would have said at that time that would upset me. And I would react. Like, I would snap, I would react because I'd be irritated, I'd be bothered, whatever, and I would bark like a fucking chihuahua, just. And we would do this in front of our son, right? So this is what he's seen. He's seen his mom, somebody who, in his eyes, is, the most beautiful person, and rightfully so, in the world, and the most caring person, and, everything. And my dad's over here just snapping. And maybe he can't say, maybe he can't comprehend everything, but he sees the interactions. Man, babies are smart. They see the interactions. They see what's up. And like, that was our relationship for a very, very long time. And then little by little, you start thinking about, like, hey, can we slow this down a little bit so we're not quibbling as much? So on both ends, you try either by separating yourselves, via phone, via one on YouTube, on something else, one on TV, whatever the case may be. Just don't interact with each other a lot. You know what I mean? So you can miss each other, I guess. And, we worked on it, and we did a lot of things, and little by little. But for me, that transition took a long, long time. And even when I felt like I've made a transition a lot, it still feels like it's like it needs work, Like, it still needs some work, but it's still a lot better than what it was. So, like, I would say the time where I started thinking about stuff, just kind of slowing it down, was probably about 5-6 years ago. Slow down. You know what I'm saying? Stop fucking reacting to your wife and your kid. First case, and I realized that about myself, and I slowed it down, and like I said, you would build it up, and whenever you would react, they would come with baggage, and that was like the process of trying to make that not as eruptive as it was the first time, and you try to make it less, and you try to come to and I think it was like the beginning of this year, where I don't know what I was watching, to be honest. And then I put on a song, and I really don't even know what song it was, to be honest. And I just start crying. Like, I'm just fucking bawling my eyes out. And I had like this epiphany, if you want to call it that, of like, I tell my kid not to do all these things, but I'm guilty of every single fucking last one of them. Like, yeah, granted it's less and less, but I've been doing this for the last 15 years. Yes, I started thinking about my reactions, but I wasn't thinking about the reaction. Like I was thinking to not have a reaction. I was thinking of ways of controlling the reaction. I was thinking of that, and then when the reaction happened and shit would go foul for as long as it went foul, a couple days. I think at most it was like a month. That was very uneasy. Because I was just thinking of, okay, I thought about it, I reacted, and this is over with. But it's not, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't the end. The reaction and the lack of thought on that reaction produced other problems. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes when I would react in any bad way, or I felt like she reacted to me in a bad way, and we would fight and we would squabble and we would squibble and not talk to each other, there was still like this tension, like this weird vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, like the hostility, you can pick shit, you can pick that shit up. You know what I'm saying? People are hostile towards each other, just kind of not feeling each other, So I wasn't putting enough thought into that part. And at the end of everything, like once and I guess that was the thing, is like once I realized that a lot of the fucking shit that I went through mentally or even emotionally or even just things that happened could have possibly been avoided if I had just kept thinking about stuff instead of thinking like I had the perfect solution, the perfect answer to this fucking problem. I never thought to double check the solution. I mean, my solution was not trying to get to the reaction. If the reaction happened, just kind of dismiss it. That is the reaction. That's the answer. That's it. Fucking move on. Next problem. But no, that wasn't the case. The case was that even though I thought about not doing these things, when I did do these things, and when they happened, I didn't think about the solution. I wasn't showing my work. You're giving me a problem. You gave me variables. You gave me integers. You gave me things that make this problem. And then I just came up with the answer. I did it in my head. And I came up with the answer. I didn't show my work. How do you know this is right if you don't show your work? And I wasn't showing my work. So once I realized all that, like literally, like everything just kind of like I don't know if I broke something internally that needed to be broken. Kind of like this person who I am now, busting through a shell, and that's kind of what it felt like. Like it was like a new person arising from from like within my soul. If you want to say that, if you want to feel it that way. But after I realized this and had my cry, and it was a cry, And the thing is, even the reaction to this like realization wasn't the best either. In the way that I expressed what I felt had happened wasn't the best, and that kind of led to something else too. I mean, nothing bad. It's just kind of like it led to like another like uneasy moment. In the way that I expressed this. And now, while things are not 100% correct, just the form of being able to think about everything that I was able to do in this relationship and everything that I needed to do in order to change the relationship, not for the better, because we never really had a bad relationship, but to make the overall feel of the relationship better, to give it that spit shine, to give it that polish. You know what I mean? Like, and the work needed to do that to make something look that's solid, as solid as our relationship, look shinier. Not out of impressions or not out of anything else, but other than we care about our relationship. We care about not the image that we're putting on, but we care about the love that we have for each other, that we don't want nobody to ever question that because of the way we interact with each other. We don't need everybody to think that our relationship is great, but we need to show to each other that our relationship is great. And that was, those were the parts that I needed to think about. Because a lot of the hostility that was going on was mainly because I assumed I knew the fucking answer and I didn't know the answer. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was the correct answer because I input the numbers into my head, got an answer, and that was the answer. But that's not how that word should have worked out. And that's how I was thinking it would work out. So we had to think about this for ourselves. So, I came to the realization, blah, 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 and about thinking. This is kind of still the topic of this is just think of the shit that you do before you fucking do it. And teaching my son this. And like I said, fucking 35 minutes ago, he pops off, he does all these things, and sometimes I want to pop his ass, but I love him, so I think about it and I don't pop him. Sometimes I do get extremely angry still, and that's a whole different amount of standards and a whole different amount of why I do that, and a lot of that is purposeful when I do react in a very, very strong fashion. A lot of that is by design. Again, not that it's the correct answer, but it's the answer that I have right now. And I have thought about this answer and thought about when it was applied to me in certain moments of my life, what that actually meant for me. And, I felt like I wouldn't be the person that I am today if not for those moments. Yes, sometimes the journey is a little bit longer than it probably should be, but the journey is there because of the tools I was provided with. So he's been popping off a lot, right? And one of the things that he popped off about recently is my kid plays golf. He has his routine when he plays golf, when he plays tournaments. He has like what I like to call a Tiger routine. Tiger always wore red on Sundays. My kid for tournaments, especially individual tournaments, his routine is he wears his lucky purple shirt. That's his thing. So he joined a team league for the first time. Actually, no, not for the first time, but the first time as a person who developed this habit, of wearing his purple shirt. For the first time since he's kind of developed that habit that was going to be his routine. And we show up to the first team event like 3 weeks ago. And the coach gives him the shirt. And he makes this face. Like this discouraged, disgruntled face. And then, I don't know if his coach heard him, but I heard him. And he said, "But purple's my color." Damn. When I heard him say that, I didn't even think. I just reacted. Because at that moment, thinking wasn't going to do shit. At that moment, a reaction needed to be done that this was not fucking right. So he says thank you to the coach, which, it ended that way. He does say thank you. He does say please and all, all the niceties and all the manners that you need to have with a person that, that you need to respect, such as your coach. And I pull him aside and I go, "Come here." I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He goes, "What?" "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say that?" He goes, "But purple's my color." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck. This is a team league. You are part of this team. If your coach gives you the jersey to put on," it was a shirt, I understand that. "If your coach gives you the jersey to put on, you put on your colors. That is your team color. You're here for a team league." I'm like, "Do you see LeBron wearing a different fucking color just because he's part of the Lakers, but he's LeBron James?" Like, no, you don't fucking see that. Do you see Steph Curry doing that? Do you see Thompson? Do you see KD doing that? You see anybody who's the top echelon of any sport wear a different jersey, a different color than the rest of their team? No? Then why the fuck do you think you're any special? Why the fuck do you think you deserve special privilege? I'm like, you're lucky I don't tell you to go take that shirt back and then we're leaving right now. You're lucky I don't tell you that. I was angry. I was mad. I didn't think about it. I reacted. And whether that reaction was correct or not, that is something that needed to be said right there in the moment. I didn't have time to think about that. I needed to instill everything that I had told him about sports and everything in general. At that moment, there was no time to think of how I was going to approach this. Whatever my first reaction was, and that's what the reaction was. It was that first reaction because that needed to be solved right there on the spot. So that was it. I told him, get in the bathroom. You put on that blue shirt. I don't give a fuck about your purple shirt right now. You take that purple. But he was still trying to fight me on this fucking purple shirt. I was like, don't get in there and go change your fucking shirt before we go home. He goes in there. He starts crying. I don't like to see my kid cry. I don't. But I was really angry. And for what he had just done to me was like one of the most disrespectful things that I ever seen my kid do. And I just was not going to have it. There was no time to think about how, no. To me, that was one of the most disrespectful things. And my reaction was like, that shit is not going to fucking pop off that way. So it did not. But once I cooled down, once that was done, went back to the car. I was still upset. I was still pretty upset. I was still pretty upset. But as I'm thinking about this, after I cooled down, I thought about this a little bit more in the car as we're waiting for him to be done with this round. And I said, damn. I don't think I was too rough, but there wasn't time for me to explain to him why I felt this way. You know what I mean? Like once I cooled down and thought about it, there was no reflection by the both of us. Because I wasn't able to be around him to see how my reaction affected him, and then at the same time he really had no time to dwell on this because he needed to tee off in like 10 minutes or however long it was going to be. I forgot. It was maybe like another 30 or 40 minutes actually because we checked in first. So it was like maybe 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So there was no time for us to communicate about what had just happened because we needed to get back to business. He had a golf tournament. That's what we were there for. So he needed to just kind of get on it. I still helped him with his earbuds. I still helped him kind of get hooked up. But tension. You feel this. We didn't have time to think about what had just happened. So he's done with this round. I'm able to still be upset and do my round, and do everything else. And because like I said, I was really upset. And after he teed off on the first one, I saw how it affected him because it's just the way he was walking. He felt bummed. And I saw that, and I was still mad. I didn't go, fuck. It angered me. I'm not going to lie, it angered me. I don't know why it angered me so much to that point, but it did. It angered me a lot. And as we talk about, as I'm thinking about this, and then, after everything is done, I pull him aside. And I go, hey, look, man. I know that I didn't react in the best way, but you also did not have the best response to getting this t-shirt. I'm like, do you understand that this t-shirt was only given to a handful of selected kids, a handful of hand-picked children from this organization, from this division of this organization? You were one of the lucky few to put on this shirt. And that was your first reaction? That you couldn't wear your fucking purple shirt? It was like, come on, bro. Come on, man. You can't seriously look at me with a straight face and tell me you think that is a proper reaction. That is the correct reaction to have. No, but purple's my thing. I understand that. But what are you not understanding? That you are one of a select few kids who get to put this on, buddy. This is literally like you being picked like in the draft. I'm like, honestly, let's just say that you had the skills and ability to play professional football. Hypothetically speaking. I mean, my kid's a golfer, man. He's not really a fighter. He's not one for physicality. He's a golfer. He likes it. He likes being physical, but not to the point where somebody can pop him back like that. You know what I mean? But he does like watching the sport. You know, let's just say, you know, you went to college and you did all this stuff, and then you get selected in the 7th round by the 49ers. Are you not going to put that jersey on? Yeah, but no. There's no but. I don't know what your response is going to be, and I don't even care if you think, yeah, but that's a professional. No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going into high school next year. You're going to wear team colors next year. You're not going to be able to wear purple unless they allow you to wear purple. You're going to be part of a team. You are part of a team. You got selected to be part of this team, and that was the first reaction that you had, was that? Was that you couldn't wear your purple shirt? Come on, dude. You can't tell me that. And I'm pretty sure I've repeated a lot of this, but I repeat to him a lot. Because I feel like it needs to be said. Like it needs to be repeated. Kids don't fucking listen to us nowadays. And to be honest, we didn't listen back then either. You know what I mean? So we have to keep repeating these things so they learn, so they understand, like, why the hell does he keep fucking repeating these things to me? You know what I mean? I get it. Anyways. You know, and I go, you know that's not right, buddy. No. I don't know if Coach Eric heard you. If he ever brings it up to you, you tell him I'm sorry. You have to tell him I'm sorry. Okay? Okay, Dad. And then he goes, and then after we talked about it, he stopped trying to justify what he was doing. He stopped pretty much trying to justify all that. You know what I mean? And then he goes, hey, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's cool, man. It's cool. I'm the last person you need to be sorry to. You know, don't worry about it. Just think before you react. Think about what you're going to say. Think about it. You have a habit of just reacting first. And as I'm telling these things, like part of the reason why I have these discussions with my kid and my son is because as I tell him these things, I can see my dad telling me something similar to these things over and over and over again. And it wasn't really registering until this moment. And I realized that our reactions, or the way that we are as men, as Zet men, you know what I'm saying, when they call it the Zet temper amongst the family, it's because all the men grow up that way. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know how the rest of my family is, but, you know, my dad's been pretty honest with us about his past and everything else, and we've been able to kind of reflect on that, and we think about that stuff, and it's just weird because it's like a lot of people don't think before they put something online, before they say something online, before anything. But then we're surprised by the reaction we get when we react to something right away without thinking about it. And it could be anything. It could be big, small, whatever. You see something on Instagram you don't fucking like, you post something up there, fuck this, who cares about this, all this shit is ass anyways, who the fuck cares? Because that's your first reaction for whatever reason, to be negative, and that's your first reaction, but you don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking about how you want to react, you think about how you want to behave, and you don't think about how that behavior, and you might think, oh, well, it's just an online thing, it's what people do. No, but it grows more than that. Because as you're saying fuck this, somebody's telling fuck you. And then you feel attacked. Oh, what? I can't say nothing now? I can't. You guys are all fucking bitches out here? Nobody can say shit nowadays, man. Y'all motherfuckers all bitches, man. I'm just fucking say what I want to say, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. But you're not thinking about, all you're thinking is about yourself at that point. What you're not thinking that if you react first to something that you don't like, that somebody may not like the reaction that you had, and then react to your reaction. And that becomes a chain reaction across the whole message board. Everything. And then it's just like, fuck this, fuck you, this, and that. I hope you fucking die. And it escalates through some weird ass shit. Somehow you're talking about like you boning some dude's wife while the mom's watching. It's like, well, where the fuck was any of this mentioned in this Pokemon trailer? Like, why are we talking about this on a Pokemon trailer? And like legit, that's what happens. Because we don't stop to think about that. We don't stop to think about how our reactions may be reacted upon. We just react. We don't think about anything nowadays. And that leads us to a lot of fucking problems. Think about shit first before doing. Doesn't matter how minuscule it is. If you have time to not fucking react first. And what I mean by that is, life forbid that you get caught in a situation where you hear gunfire, whatever the case may be. Look, man, you ain't got time to fucking think. Get the fuck out of wherever you are. Find safety. Get the fuck out. Okay? So let's separate those scenarios. We're talking about, we can think about stuff that we do every day. Not those scenarios where it's literally life or death. Just the scenarios that we can control in life. Stop to fucking think about everything before you fucking do it. Everything. Don't just be like, oh man, fuck this. This shit looks like ass. Just because that's your first reaction. You know what I'm saying? Think about like, is it even worth it for me to say it? Is it even worth it for me to say it like that? Do I really want to have a discussion about my opinion or not? Or am I looking to fight somebody? If you're looking to fight somebody, look, you're going to have that. You're going to just put on there because you're a troll. People exist are trolls and want to do that just for the sake of fighting with people online because they think it's funny, whatever. Look, man, whatever. That's a whole different kind of worms. Fuck those people too. But if you're not the type of person who wants to do that, stop to think just a little bit. Before you hit send, before you even start typing something like, do I really want to go through this whole scenario? Do I really want to go through this headache of possibly fighting with somebody? No, you probably don't. But it becomes that. And what that becomes is a waste of fucking time. Because as you say, oh, this shit looks like ass. And then somebody goes, oh, your face looks like ass. I'm not even talking about you, man. Oh, like, oh, I know who the fuck you are. Blah, 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 blah. I fucked your sister. Blah, 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 blah. And it just becomes a waste of time. Like, and how did that start? Because you just didn't take the time. You didn't take 30 seconds. You didn't take a minute to think about whether 30 minutes of this bullshit was going to be worth it for your comment. If you would have thought about it for a minute, you would have realized, like, man, I ain't trying to do none of this shit. Fuck it. Let me go smoke a J. Let me go drink a beer. Let me go whatever, man. Go do something. Go do something else. Go take a dump. Go take a piss. Go do something else. Go eat. Whatever. Instead of leaving this fucking comment that's going to kill 30 minutes of your day. Day's not that long, people. You know what I'm saying? 30 minutes is, what is that, 1/48th? Is that how that shit works? 1/12th? No, it's 1/48th of your day. You know what I mean? That is literally half of 1 hour. So then you have 23 hours left of your day. Like, 24 hours is not a long time. Do you really want to spend 30 minutes fucking on bullshit? Commenting, arguing with people you don't fucking know, you're probably never going to fucking see, over what? Over a fucking dumbass trailer. Over a movie, over a picture, over whatever. If you want to discuss something with people online, I'm all for that. At that point, it's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. You guys don't have to have the same opinion. You don't have to have the same opinion. I've talked about it twice on this podcast. Game of Thrones being the prime example. Not everybody has to like the ending. Not everybody has to. We can disagree on what you felt about the ending and about the show. That's fine. We can discuss it because I want to know why you don't like it. And if you want to know why I did fucking like it and why I do fucking love it, I can tell you. And we can discuss it so we can learn more about each other. Even through our disagreements, we can learn more about each other. We don't do that online. That is the last thing. And the people who do try to be that somehow become the martyr and the target of like weird ass people coming together to gang up on this one guy trying to talk sense into a nonsensical situation, and they somehow become the target. I've had it happen to me a bunch of times, which is why I don't discuss politics online. I don't discuss religion online. I don't discuss a lot of things online anymore for that very reason. Even amongst my Facebook fam, even amongst them, a lot of them say a lot of shit I just don't agree with. But it's who they are. I spent enough time with them as people where I love them dearly. I do want to be around them. I would love to talk to them more than just Facebook. I would love to have a chat with them face to face. I would love to have lunch with them. Just life sometimes just doesn't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes like anybody else, we're all different people. Like anything else, anybody else, even in your own family, they have different opinions. And sometimes they post stuff and they'll say stuff that I just don't agree with. But like I said, some people go, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're awesome. Yeah. And it's always like this whole thing. Like if people agree with you, it's like a big hurrah. And then people disagree with you. It's like, whoa. And then if people go, yeah, in principle, I agree with you. But, blah, 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 blah. Somehow that person becomes the target of everything. I don't think it's like, no, I just think we're not thinking about it the same wavelengths. Which is text just doesn't allow for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think we don't think about those things now in this world, in this connected environment. We don't think about that. We stop thinking about the other person on the other side of the telephone, other side of the line, other side of the screen, the other side of the chat room, the other side of Facebook. We stop thinking about those, because even though we see their picture on Twitter, we see their picture on Instagram, we see them on Facebook, we see people more now than we ever have in the history of our lives. But somehow those people are not real people. They're images of people that you interact with. It's like a big video game. Because we don't think about our actions. We just go forward. What happens if I jump with Mario into this pit? Let's find out. But you don't even get that. You just jump off. You don't even think about it. Let me jump. Oh, I die. Okay, cool. Whatever. Do it again. Because we're not thinking about the other people yet. In this connected world that's supposed to bring us more closer together, we don't think about that. Why is it that we don't think about that anymore? We have stopped trying to actually be friends with everybody, and we make up friends. That doesn't make any sense to me. The reason why my Facebook profile is so tiny, as far as friends, for as long as I've had my thing, my account, is because before I accept any request, I want to make sure that I can fuck with that person in real life. And I don't mean fuck in a gross way. I'm talking about like, can I be down with this dude in real life, or this person in real life? Can I fucks with you? You know what I'm saying? Can we be on the same wavelength even when we're not? Even when we're not on the same frame of thought, can we still be on the same wavelength? That's what I mean. Well, can I fucks with you? If we're gonna have a disagreement, am I gonna have a good time disagreeing with you? Can we still talk about it at the end of the day? Be like, all right, cool. Bye. See you later. Have a good day. Drink some beers together. Maybe not, have some lunch. Have a nice conversation afterwards about whatever. After we get over a disagreement, can I fucks with you? If the answer to that is yes, then cool. I accept the request, and I understand that we're gonna have differences online. I understand that. But then when you think about the people posting, when you think about the other person, you stop reacting negatively to things you don't agree with, because you're thinking about the other person. Why would they be posting this? What's going on in their lives? Or just, what, should I even say anything? This doesn't sound like the whoop-de-woo that I know. I wonder what's going on. Let me reach out to them really quick outside of this thread. If you have their phone, contact them. Hey, how are you? Or is everything cool? Is everything right? Maybe some shit happened in their lives that you just don't know about, and that's why they're posting these things. But once you're more informed about the person on the other side, and you can think about it, reflect about it before you react, next thing you know, it's like maybe the relationship doesn't get stronger. Maybe the friendships are not as strong as they should be or you want them to be. But at least you get to still hold on to the relationship that you have with said person. You still get to hold on to that friendship. You still get to hold on to that portion of it. If it's not worth it to you anymore, why are you still friends on Facebook? Why are you still connected to anybody on Twitter or anybody on Instagram? If you cannot fucks with somebody like that, why are you still messing with them? Why are you still fucking with them? I have cut out a lot of people in my life because I just can't do it anymore. I don't give a fuck how long I've known you. If a moment comes in my life where I can't fuck with you no more, I can't fuck with you no more, dude. Like, I can't. Like, I cannot spend even 2 seconds scrolling past the shit that I don't want to see from you, because that's 2 seconds more than I want to think of you. So if we come to that point, I click. Done. Unfriend, unfollow, whatever, block. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And people going, oh, well, they probably don't give a fuck about you either. You sound like an asshole. I am an asshole. I've never tried to make myself appear superior to anybody, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I know who I like to mess with. I know who I like to fuck with online. And if we can't. Done. If they don't give a fuck, even better. Because at that point, I don't have to worry about hurting anybody's feelings. If they've been feeling the same way about my post, about the shit that I have to say, about my opinions, but they've been too cowardly to just fucking unfriend me, and then somehow they do the same shit to me and I unfriend them, and it's like a mutual thing, cool. Somebody made the hard decision. Fuck it. I did it. Thank you. Fuck it. We don't have to pretend to fucking like each other anymore. I've done it, and I'm pretty sure people have done it to me. I don't fucking blame them. You know what I mean? We just weren't meant to click. That's it. We had good times while we worked together, while we hung out together, while we knew mutual people together, as me and that person worked together, and we got to hang out more because of it. However the scenario is that we became friends online. If it developed to a thing where like there wasn't enough real life connection to make an online connection last, then fuck it. Done. Why the fuck are we wasting 2 seconds of each other's lives scrolling past shit that we don't want to see from the other person? Give me my 2 seconds back. Right? 2 seconds a day, 2 seconds an hour, however many times you're going to see shit from this person. Fuck it. Save that time. Save it. Little time makes big time. Save it. And end of the fucking year, you would have already, saved an hour of not having to see this dude shit on something that you did want to see, on something you did want to watch, on something you did want to read about. That hour was better spent somewhere else. But in order to achieve that, you have to think about the shit first. You have to think about how you want to be approached and how you approach other people first to make something like that possible. Don't think about yourself. Think about everything that you're doing towards the other person, and think about how you would like a response to come to you. Do think about the interaction. And do set expectations for yourself on how you want to be interacted with. But if you're not putting that forward, if you're not treating others the way you would like to be treated, if you're putting no thought, no think process behind the way you interact with others, but then somehow expect them to treat you better, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Think about all these things before you react. Before you react to your spouse, your son, your friend, your cousin, your brother, your sister, before you react to whatever it is that they tell you that you may not agree with, think about it first. Just slow down. Even if you have to go, just let me think about it for a bit. Or if they just come out of nowhere, blah, 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 and just start talking shit. Be like, oh, hey, I forgot something in the car really quick. I'll be right back. Step away. Step away and think about it. Think about the scenario. They didn't do it. That's fine. They didn't do it. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You cannot control what others do against you or for you, but you can control how you react. You can't control how you will react to them doing things for you or against you. Right? So step outside, think about it. Come back in. If the scenario repeats itself again, the fuck? Thought about it already. Use one of the fucking solutions that you came up with. Right? Do you step outside and go, oh, well, if he doesn't bring it up, she doesn't bring it up, they don't bring it up, cool, we'll leave it alone. If they do bring it up, oh man, what the fuck am I gonna say? What can I tell them? If they bring it up in a way that pisses you off again, man, if your answer to that was pop off, fuck it, pop off. I'm not trying to tell you to stop being human. I'm not even trying to know how to react. I just want you to think about some shit before you actually fucking do it. Save yourself some trouble. If the answer to that question is react, pop off. Fuck you mean? Why are you coming at me that way, man? Fucking on my face. Whatever your reaction is going to be, react. If that's the answer, react. Let it happen. If it happens too often and you don't fucking like it, why do you still have those people in your lives? Give a fuck if they say they're family. Think about what you want. Why you always gotta think about other people? I know I've been saying that, right? But at the same time, think about yourself. At the same time. Think about everything. That's what this is all about. Think. You gotta think. But think about others first, and then think about yourself. If the interactions that you're having with that person, that you're trying to put so much thought into, are not the way that that you feel should be going, bounce. Stop interacting with them. It's possible. It doesn't matter if they're quote unquote family, if they're blood, if they're this, if they're no. I don't give a fuck about any of that. If I have a bad time with you, I don't want to be around you. I don't want my kid around you. I don't want my wife around you. I just don't even want to be in the car going to where the fuck I'm going to be around you. So bye. That is where my frame of thinking is right there. I've thought about you. I thought about being cool with you. And you keep behaving towards me this way. So I'm going to stop thinking about you. I'm going to think about myself. And I'm fucking leaving this. I'm leaving this relationship. I'm leaving this fucking interaction. I'm leaving whatever the fuck this is that I don't want to fucking be a part of. Because I don't want to be a part of it no more. I'm tired of this shit. And you bounce. And that's it. But all that requires some thought. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go into any event, any scenario, anything where you're gonna go somewhere, somebody reacts to you, you react to them, and this is the situation that happens frequently. Why do you even go? Oh, it's because blah 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 blah. It's because it's for the family. I want to see this. I want to see that. Is it really? You can't find other time to just kick it? It always has to be at the time when this person is around the house? Oh, but you know how we do, man. We got to throw this big ass party. Okay, that's awesome. That's cool. But why is it that people are calling you a bitch or fucking calling you out, but don't call the other person? You know what I'm saying? This bad interaction, this bad hostility has to do with somebody trying to be the grown up and not wanting to bring this drama around anywhere. Work, fam, vacation, wherever the fuck you're going to go. If people can't understand that, cut them out too. Because you have to think about yourself too. You have to think about what makes you happy. Do you really want to spend time, wasting time, trying to prove yourself to other people who have nothing but negative shit to say about you? And if you have nothing but negative shit to say about them, why do you want to be around them? Family or not, that's not healthy for anybody. Think about everything. You know what I'm saying? Think about everything. Yeah. That was kind of depressing a little bit. And again, I don't know how much of it made sense to anybody, but like I said, I pay for this now, and maybe some of it makes sense to somebody out there. But yes, people, just think, please. Just think before you post things on Instagram. Think before you react to things on anywhere, and think about how you can, I don't know, man, just become better. Just I don't know how to tell people to become better, but think about all the shit that you have to go through. If you're still in that same shit, think about what you want to get out of that shit. Think about what you can possibly do to get out of that shit. Go back to school, find a better job. I don't know. Make sure it's you first, though. Focus on you first. Don't look for somebody to fix you, because it's not going to happen. You need people to help you fix yourself. That's what you need. You don't need people to fix you. Then, of course, there are outlier circumstances, and I understand that. But in most scenarios where you can care for yourself, think for yourself, be able-minded for yourself, think about everything before you decide to do what you want to do. But don't look for somebody to over here try to fix all of that for you, because that's not going to happen. You know what? You may be that special person who finds that other special person who's willing to help you understand yourself and give up all the time. I found that person. I'm lucky to say I have found that person. Because looking back now, I don't know how the fuck she's put up with me for 15 years. I really don't. Like, I honestly look back and go, how the fuck has she been able to put up with me for 15 years? Because there's some shit that I've done in reaction that, no bullshit, I wouldn't fucking had stood for myself. And it's not so much that she fixed me, but because of her, I've been able to think about everything that I've done, because she's been there to be my rock, to be my mirror, to allow me to reflect on the bad shit that I've done, to make me look upon myself and be like, fuck, man, why do I do this? Besides my mom and like my direct family who's been with, that I've known either my entire life or known me my entire life, there's nobody else in the third person or one other person that has loved me for me being me. She's one of the two. She's one of the two that allow me to reflect upon myself and become a better person and be the person that I am today. But if it wasn't for them, people would have just accepted me for being me because of the whole family. We're not thinking about this. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Because there's a level of acceptance within family that, this is who he is. This is just who Mo is. This is who Muito is. And you never change. So I'm lucky that I found two people in my life. But that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? You can't find that person because that person, you don't know if it exists or not. But you have to be able to change yourself. You find a buddy first. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that you can be cool with. Somebody that makes you think about yourself. At work or whatever, just talk to somebody. Be like, hey, what's going on, bro? Blah, blah, blah. You never know what could happen if you just say hi to somebody. You see somebody eating lunch by themselves, you never really interact, but you guys talk to each other like on the line. You know what I mean? Or at smoke breaks or whatever. Be like, hey, bro, you mind if I sit here? What's going on with you, man? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, sis. What's that? How are you? How's your day going? You never know. You never know. But that's part of your self-fixing. That's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Don't go looking for the people, but just that's part of the self-fixing. Can you interact with somebody and think about them? If somebody goes, hey, don't talk to me right now. All right, cool. Just because you're ready to fucking open up and be cool with somebody doesn't mean that other person has to be. Right? So, but if you want to fix yourself, you gotta be able to look at the world that way. Be like, yeah, you know what? Let me go see if I can go talk to home dude or home girl. We worked next to each other for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and we never even really said anything to each other. What's going on? So just come by, be like, hey, what's up? Mind if I sit down? Person says no, fuck off. Go take your break somewhere else. The person says yes. Hey man, success. You've opened yourself up. You've taken that next step into becoming somebody else, somebody better. Maybe this is the person that that helps you think about the other angle, the other aspect. Who knows? Maybe you think you have a shitty life. Oh, my life is shit because this, and that. I fucking hate my life. And if you look at them like, oh man, you're always so happy. How do you deal with it? You know what I'm saying? You have a good life. You rich. You here for fun. They might turn around and be like, no, my parent died. My grandma has cancer. Blah, blah, blah. You might go, damn, what the fuck? How are you always so happy? Then you start learning about each other. Or maybe you can be that person for the other person. I mean, I think people who are like that naturally don't have that problem. But at the same time, when, who knows? Maybe you're one of those people that, do something else but say another, or say something and then do another. Like, yeah, let's talk about this. Like, I'm the type of dude, I'll talk to anybody. You want to know about my life? Cool, just ask. And if you want to ask on this podcast, it's mobanterpodcast at gmail.com. MOEBANTERPODCAST at gmail.com. And yeah, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm ranting at this point, so we're gonna end it with the story. And the story's gonna relate. It's gonna be like a Jerry Springer story about thinking. So around the same time, maybe around I think I might have been a little bit older. I might have been like 10 or 11 because I think we already lived in Long Beach. Yeah, I was like 10 or 11. So around that time, there was like these string rosemaries. Yeah, the rosemaries made of yarn, made of string. You have a little Jesus cross made of string. Came in different colors, blue, red, whatever. I wanted a blue one. Back then, I was kind of all amen and Jesus and all that stuff. I'm not like that anymore. But back then I was. And we still went to the hood to go some of the markets out there for food and stuff. Just because, we didn't have spots here that we felt comfortable going where we can find something similar. So we go to the store. My dad had just gotten paid the day before. And And we go to one of the stores. We go to two stores in the same little strip. We get our food, pack it in, pack it up. I had been asking for my dad for this little rosemary thing for like 2 weeks. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to Hollywood, and when we go over there, we're gonna make a stop at the Placita." The Placita is a little like strip mall location that is on the border of downtown LA and LA Chinatown. It's like literally around the border. There's a church there. Don't know what the church is called. But this place called the Placita. And they saw him there. It's like, okay, we'll stop at the Placita. All right, cool. And I'm over here bugging. Dad, are we going to? Yeah, we're going to go. Okay, we get the food as, we're packing everything. I tell my dad, hey, are we going to? Oh, shit. Are we going to go to the Placita? Yeah, let's go. Fine, let's go. This spot was like maybe like 15 minutes away from where we were, right? So we get there. These things cost like $2. Dad goes and reaches for his wallet. Shit. Goes in the trunk. No wallet. Looks under the seats. No wallet. Tells me to get up. No wallet. Ask my mom. I mean, we look at everywhere in this fucking car. No wallet anywhere. Dude, this dude is tripping out. He just got paid the day before. He had a check for like $300, and then he had like another like $300 on him cash or some shit like that. I mean, he had money on him. He just got paid, and it wasn't no direct deposit. We deposited it ourselves, or we just didn't even deposit it. We just cashed our checks or whatever the case was. So he's tripping out. So I stayed quiet. I already had known like this, I'm saying, I'm not gonna mess with my dad. Not right now. And then my dad starts scratching his head. He starts getting very anxious and very like tense. Like you can see it, it's almost like the back of a dog's like neck. Just the hair was just standing up. He's like scratching. He's like, oh my God. Can't believe it. Oh my God, I can't believe I lost my money. I lost my wallet. And he yells out this scream. He throws a punch at the windshield. At the car's windshield. He hit this shit clean as fuck because it cracked. Like it literally cracked. From where he struck it to about the middle. I don't care if you say, oh, maybe he hit a weak spot, or maybe I don't give a fuck. As a 10 or 11-year-old kid, watching your dad crack a windshield with his fucking bare hands is one of the scariest fucking things you can witness. Because it wasn't directed at you, but you realize, fuck, your dad is strong. And my mom goes, hey! And my mom's first reaction, is, man, look at the windshield. Look what you did. Why didn't you step outside the car and punch the tree instead and break your hand? Break my windshield. She said it in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Which made it so much worse. And my dad, shut up! And yeah, people were going, damn, this is a sad story. Why are you laughing? Because it's crazy. It's crazy. So, with all hope lost, all hope kind of like kind of like any hope that we had thought of recovering this wallet with this money was gone. But my dad was going to retrace his steps. Maybe he would have left it somewhere, hoping that, one decent person out there wouldn't just fucking open it up, just take everything, just throw it back down on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So we go to the stores. We look in the parking lot. Nothing. We don't see anything. My dad's defeated. My dad's just... We get back on the on-ramp for the freeway. And I kid you not. I kid you not. As we're going down, he slows down. Just because he has this instinct that hopefully it landed right there. Halfway down the on-ramp, the wallet is right there. And he's thinking, at first I was like, oh, there's my wallet. Somebody took my money and just do it there. Pulls over, he goes to his wallet, he opens it up. Ah! 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 My mom is thinking that either he lost his money or lost his goddamn mind. No, he found his money. He was super hyped. Right? My mom, seeing this man happy as fuck because he found his wallet, found all his money, goes, see, broke the window for nothing. Oh shit! But end of the story, like we go back. I get my $2. I get my crucifix, my rosemary. My dad is happy for the brief moment until Monday when he realizes it's gonna cost $275 to replace this windshield he just cracked. Which, by the way, outside of having to replace your IDs and everything, was about the amount of money he had in his wallet. So the money that he was scared of losing, that he was mad that he lost, he ended up losing anyways because he had to replace his windshield that he just broke. Had he thought about his actions beforehand, he would have had $300 and maybe just a slight headache from scratching his head so fucking hard. But he would have not lost that $300 because whether he found that wallet or not, he was out about $300. So as I say, people, just think about the stuff you do. Think about what we do. Think about the other person on the other side of the screen. Before anything, please just think. You cannot control how others react. You can control only how you react. Think about your actions because your actions will be out there forever and ever. The post that you put on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on whatever social media is out there, Reddit, Imager, whatever. If you're comfortable with that image of you being out there, and what I mean by that is like, any art, any nudity, any whatever. If you're comfortable with that, cool, you're comfortable with that. No regrets. Fucking no regrets. If you feel like you're going to be comfortable with that 50 years down the road, fucking no regrets. Go put whatever the fuck you want out there. By all means, go ahead and go do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're still trying to find a path, if you're still trying to do, just think about stuff. Just think about how what you put out there is going to reflect not only upon yourself, perhaps your family, perhaps anything else. Just think about the things that we do before we actually act on those things. You cannot control others and how they react towards you, but you can control your reactions towards others and the ones that represent yourself. All right, I got that off my chest. I hope you had fun. But anyways, again, as always, if you want to reach out to me, this is Mo Banter Podcast, MoeBanter at gmail.com. And, feel free to just hit me up, man. Let's holler, let's talk, let's see what's up. And who knows? Maybe I can help you as much as you'll help me. Maybe I'll have a different idea. Maybe my philosophy will change just a little bit. Maybe I'll grow a deeper understanding for the other side. The other side being any side that's not my own. Not in a standoffish way. It's just, it's kind of how we are as people. But yeah, that was fun. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for listening. And yeah, be good. Be good people. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. Bye.